Hello everybody, this is a grumpy old guy gaming. A bit of a mea culpa here as I load into the game. I had this really great farming run where we went down to the labyrinth and got 2 of the 3 items necessary to make the resurrection stone to complete that quest, along with a touch over on how we got through the get a person paralyzed quest. And all of this great footage of battles and different tactics we were using, and like a doof, because I was hungry, I stopped to grab a chicken sandwich after recording, and then deleted everything because I was distracted. So this is a grumpy old guy who is easily distracted saying, I apologize for losing all of that footage, and to make up for it, we are going to head back into Wizardry and load it back up and do a little run for y'all. As I had said, we had started collecting the items necessary to make the stone, the cathedral stone I believe it was. We have a dragon's heart and some priest's hair. All we're searching for is a bishop's bracelet. And our best chance at finding bishops thus far has been in the 3rd level, that labyrinth area. So before going any further, let's head back in. Going to start in the level 1 fortress area. We'll need to stop and grab a transfer potion unless we happen to run into one. Got ourselves a battle to start off here with some orcs and a harpy. We know we could rush right through these, and rush right through these we shall. $33 damage makes it very anticlimactic. Nothing's standing back up. Nothing's even close in that mob to standing back up. And as you could tell from our experience totals, there's nothing really on this first floor that's going to be a worthwhile payoff for us staying more than one round. Going to just rush past this thief here. $33 of the least exciting damage you will ever see felling that thief. And we pick up 24 experience. Do get a chest. This is more than likely thief's blood. No, it's a chest plate. Lo and behold, we grab some armor on the first floor. Usually not a good sign to it being anything too crazy in terms of magical power or whatnot, but hey, we've been surprised once already. Quick appraisal here. Nope, just a chest plate. But hey, just a chest plate isn't that bad given the circumstances. Pop our way over. Going to be walking past Pepe's assorted literary collection there. And we've got a chest up here. Let's see if this gives us our transfer potion before we have to buy one at the Smiley shop. Transfer potion it is. We are good to go for this little run. Also, I should point out that last time I played, I grabbed, on Sunday's stream after we went off camera, I grabbed some new allied actions. We have a spell allied actions now as Spell Sword, which I don't think I've ever used in any of my playthroughs in the game ever. We also have a new offensive one in the End Lash. I'm sure we'll be using that a bit in level 3. We did last time. It was really cool. I wish you could have seen it. Enough of that. Let's get back to the action, and by that I mean we're rushing another combat here. 2 rogues and a pixie. Just nothing really worth sweating there. way to this little cut. And then we reach our juncture. At this little intersection here, we could turn right to the Smiley Shop if we still needed a transfer potion. But as we were fortunate enough to pick one up out of that random chest, we could just make our way through the little loop room and to the stairs to the second level. I can tell you one of the reasons I've been pressing to get through the 5th level is that's where you start seeing shortcuts back up to the top. And I would really like to stop doing all of this every time I have to play. In the meantime, we are coming back to the old jail. Place we have literally run a rut in. That rut comes right. And then right again. And now we run down the stairs, narrowly avoiding a combat. Getting ourselves to the elevator, which we will send for, and then ride down to the 4th subfloor. These would be the detention rooms. If you remember, that's where we had found that killer that just really painted most of the tavern patrons we've run into in a really strange light. Now here we are in the labyrinth. Of course, all random shakes itself up every time. And here we are stopped by our old friend, the tarot-reading priest. The odd-looking priest stands in the darkness as he has done 4 times previous. His lips once more curl into a smile. The moonlight has led us to our encounter. His divination will bring us blessings and misfortunes. Now we are 4-0. We have got 4 favorable readings off of this priest. To ask for a 5th would be greedy. It would be tempting fate. It would be unlucky of us to even consider it. Let's do it. Very well, let's choose a pile of cards. We have the right pile, the middle pile, and the left pile. We have gone 3-0 on the middle, 1-0 on the left. I think we're going right today. What do you say? No, you'll have to speak up. You haven't seen this video yet. It's very difficult for... We'll just go with the right pile. Fate is hidden in this pile of cards. With the moon's guidance, the priest shall divine our destiny. And after a soft white glow hits the screen, we are left with a card. And it was... This is a good card. It is a fairy card. On the card, there is a picture of a fairy with a lovely smile. We will soon receive a fairy's blessing, but if you are not attentive, the fairy's blessing will pass right away. The priest laughed, his eyes becoming like crescent moons. Then I shall wait for the moonlight to guide you here at a more opportune moment. How do we keep doing this, folks? I swear there are negative cards in there. Well, the fairy's blessing has not gifted us with frame rate on this. My goodness. Up against 4 ninjas, and it's just not looking good at all for our frame rate here. I'm just gonna keep talking because it's about the only thing that's gonna come out smoothly here. Gonna restrict shot with Agog and Sarah protecting Rui and Ricardo. And then we are gonna go for our Endlash attack sometime 3 years from now when I finally get to the bottom of the list. And we will trust Rui and Ricardo on that. That's gonna hit each of the end ninjas, leaving the middle 2 pretty much alone. So we'll have Kyo go ahead and blast away at them with a rank 2 teal spell. Just to start piling some damage on. I don't know what it is about the ninja models, but they seem to be absolute killers of frame rate here. got some quality damage on the end lash. Or so the game is telling me with some crisp 20 frames per second gameplay. Actually seeing it dip down to 19 at this point for the teal stone. And no kills from the teal spell. That is a shame. Rui gets jumped by the first ninja, who takes a restrict shot square to the eyes and drops like a stone in pudding or something. It's not a very fast or graceful fall is what I'm saying. Second ninja attacks Kyo, misses on both shots. Third ninja jumps for Rui and is picked out of midair by a couple crossbow bolts, sending him to the earth at 36 frames per second. We're now up to somewhere that is slow but tolerable as the fourth ninja attacks and runs headfirst into a restrict shot, bringing us back to normal speed. Thank goodness. That was rough. I'm not going to lie, that was flat out rough. Do our end lash one more time. We'll have Kyo attack just in case this doesn't work, but it should, as the end lash is a guaranteed hit. Both attackers hit the same target. That's 76 damage, and we are mercifully through that encounter. Give yourself a pat on the back if you made it through all of that. I know I would, but both of my hands are occupied with plenty of knockoff USB controller, so I would hate to drop that, as it's probably one drop away from bursting into flames. We get a ninja's hood to remember the good times of 19 frames a second gameplay, and we get on our merry way where I hope to never encounter 4 ninjas while recording ever again. Ooh, we have a new encounter. It's got some very fairy or pixie-like laughter, tee-hee-hee. You thought you heard a faint giggle. We're now looking around. We cannot see where this faint giggle came from. But here it comes again, tee-hee-hee-hee. You heard a sweet, charming laugh, very much like the one I just did. But you could not find its source. Over here! And there's the pixie, the fairy from the fairy's blessing. She says, "For you who holds the seal of the moonlight, the fairy's blessing." All of our hit points were recovered, and our magic points. So we got back that teal spell, as I don't believe we've been hit yet. But still, kinda neat. The fairy kissed us on the forehead, then disappeared slowly. Yet another incredibly neat encounter. So at least we got that much, because I didn't find the Tarot Priest at all in the deleted footage. Always try and find the positive. Or just make a big giant circle, as I'm pretty sure we just did. Okay, we seem to be winding ourselves in here. Go through a door, takes us to a room with another door. That's got a room with a bridge to another door. And this room's got all kind of stuff, namely humanoid shaped encounters, and that's what we're looking for, as we still need that bishop's bracelet. Going for an assisted shot. You know what? Let's skip the assisted shot. We know what to do in situations like this. Let's have Rui and Sarah do a stun attack, and then Kyo and Ricardo can do a double splash. Stun attack is going to take precedence. It'll deal a quality 30 damage, but it'll paralyze the minor daimyo, which means this double slash is going to hit for double damage. At least It would have hit for true double damage if Kyo didn't hit a death strike on his first attack. So we killed the minor daimyo probably 3 times over at least. For our efforts, we pick up a chest, and inside that chest is a katana. Now, the last time we got a katana, it turned out to be a craftsman's katana, which sold for a pretty penny. Let's go ahead and appraise, see if we get the same here. It's a craftsman's katana. Got a treasure chest here. Let's go ahead and check out what is inside. We have a Barrett's stone. That is yet another magic stone we could break down in town for a chance at that bishop's bracelet. Also a chance for a bishop's bracelet here is there's a bishop joining this minor daimyo and giant toad. That's a weird combination, isn't it? Let's go for a spell cancel, as we know the minor daimyo will 9 times out of 10 cast on its first turn. Let's go for an End Lash with Rui and Ricardo, see if we can't take the bishop out that way. And just in case we can't, we're going to go ahead and cheese Kyo's attack to the back row there by feinting its spell, and then backing to the menu and melee attacking. Up, the bishop falls on the End Lash. That means Kyo's free to take out the giant toad. Much to our surprise, the daimyo attacks and actually gets 10 damage in on poor Kyo. So we'll assist shot. No, we won't assist shot. See, I did it again, folks. I need to start taking notes on my own attacks. Stun attack and double slash. That's what we want to do. Make sure this poor minor daimyo has nowhere to go, but look, it evades the stun attack. Kyo and Ricardo still put more than enough damage on to finish the job. And 492 experience is ours for the taking. Come across another little bridge room. And we are making our way back out into the hallway. Yeah, this is where I thought we were running in circles, and it seems we pretty much were there. That's okay, though. Simply gotta change direction and try a new tack. Turn right this time. Find another humanoid figure moving our way. A ninja, a samurai, and 2 priests. Restrict shot. And lash. And cheese Kyo's way to attacking a priest, just in case the End Lash doesn't get them both down. I just realized I set a spell cancel, didn't I, instead of a restrict shot. Nope, I set the restrict shot. Lucky day there. Really thought I messed myself over. So the restrict shot takes care of the ninja and doubles up on the samurai. Good call on the restrict shot, and we get through that combat. Piece of cake. Found our stairs down to the 4th floor, but that of course is not where we're heading right now. We're looking for more bishops, and more specifically for a bishop's bracelet. That would be the spell component they drop when they die, which is proving far more elusive than we could have ever thought possible. I feel like if I look back, I probably had one, and I used it on a spell stone. which isn't an inherently foolish thing to do with them. That's what they're used for. But there's always that one time you wish you could have had the material back, and that's quickly shaping up to be this time. In the meantime, we're just wandering through looking for humanoid shapes and hoping they're not giant lines of orc kings. Lo and behold, a giant line of orc kings. Let's pull a restrict shot here and a sweep attack. We know the sweep attack isn't going to do lethal damage, but it should actually set them up pretty nicely. And now if any of them run into the restrict shot as such, down they will go. I expect a couple of them to try running away as well. I have noticed orc kings don't really switch up on targets that often. They become somewhat singularly fixated. So as long as they're all aiming for Ricardo, this could still be a one-round combat. As we know, Agog and Sarah will not miss with a restrict shot. A rare switch up in target is that Orc King switched up, but did so to Rui, and so the restrict shot is still going 100%. Another target at Ricardo, fells another Orc King. One more to the pile. Now we have just one more Orc King. Can we one-round this combat? It is the second target at Rui, and down the Orc King goes. A perfect one-round combat by fighting defensively. See? You can actually vary tactics quite well in this game. Pick up an unidentified axe. I'm going to take a guess and say this is going to be a steel hand axe. Simply because, once again, that's what we got on the third floor last time. Yada yada yada. You don't need a grumpy old guy to keep, lamenting over it. Oh! This one's a cursed hand axe. A carelessly made hand axe, its defiled spirit gradually decreases the equipped person's hit points. So even though it's a one-handed weapon that deals up to 24 damage, not really anything we want to put in the hands of any of our heroes. Speaking of our heroes, here is the death of frame rate, 4 ninjas in a line. And this time, we're just not messing around. Individual action, and everybody's just casting spells. Getting a teal spell going. Rui's casting a Zakrita. Agog is casting Cold. And Sarah and Ricardo will attack because there's not much that priest spells or a fighter are really going to bring to this battle. Kyo's teal spell should at least soften up the ninjas. And let us know what lightning looks like in super slow motion. There, we had one resistant to the magic, but not outright blocking it. There was no barrier in place. Here comes the Zakrita, in case you're wondering what fire looks like in super slow motion. In this game, it's bright orange. Seems like all 4 of the ninjas survived the Zakrita, too. Ricardo's attack is deftly dodged before Agog comes in with Cold. Lightning didn't fell the ninjas. Fire didn't fell the ninjas. Let's see what ice does. Gonna get some beautiful rainbow icicles just dropping from the sky. At a quality 17 frames a second, and by now the ninjas have died of old age. 648 experience, and I need to shave. Picked up a shield though, so it's not all bad. Hand that sucker over to Agog, who will do an appraisal, meaning that our shield is a small shield, which we will hand over to Sarah for the purpose of just keeping some inventory space on our bishop. Can't identify what you can't hold. See humanoid shape, and we are going to run to it like it's our long-lost cousin. Here we find a ninja, a samurai, and a bishop. If one of these is your long-lost cousin, we found them. It's probably not going to end well, but we found them. Set up our restrict shot to keep the ninja at bay. And lash. And a little bit of cheddar cheese. Getting Kyo to melee attack a back row opponent. Not that it matters because the bishop falls anyway, and as an added bonus, Kyo makes good on his strike against the ninja. Samurai falls dead to a restrict shot. And we are through that combat with 368 experience. No prize to show for it though, and we are moving onward and outward. Here's 4 giant toads. We're just going to go ahead and take care of them the old-fashioned way. Assistant shot and individual attack should take out 3 of the 4. And then the 4th is more than likely just going to call for help. No. Looks like Ricardo will be soloing this one. Hits both times with the flail, so we do ring true. This giant toad instead decides to attack instead of calling for help and actually puts a damage on poor Rui. Despite being the least beefed up member of the front row, Rui usually leaves combat unscathed. Mainly because most of the other attacks are focused on our ninja Kyo, and mostly because her evade is pretty darn high. Here we're up against 2 ninjas, which is only mildly annoying from a frame rate perspective, and fairly easy to deal with tactically. We're going to respect their lethal abilities and restrict shot for Rui and Ricardo, and then we're going to try and end lash with Rui and Ricardo, and have Kyo just solo attack a level 3 ninja. Why not, right? Get some quality damage from the end lash, nothing to write home about, but we're not sad about 30 and 46 respectively. Kyo hits the ninja. Other ninja tries to jump Rui, and the combat went exactly like we saw it coming. 2 level 3 ninjas, not a problem for us. We do pick up a chest. Inside is a pair of ninjas' hoods. That makes a lot of sense. Make our way through this series of rooms. When you come upon a series of rooms in the labyrinth, it more often than not just leads you to a different part of the labyrinth in the same level. Occasionally there will be changes in elevation, and that's where you start to look at it as your potential to find the exit quicker. This is not one of those times. Going to go ahead and set up a spell cancel in case the minor daimyo is going to try casting. We are also going to double slash with Rui and Ricardo against the level 3 samurai. Cheese Kyo's way to the level 1 bishop. Now you may be wondering why we didn't try the double slash there against the minor daimyo, and in that instance it would have probably dropped them. but I'm all about the safe play. And I knew if Ricardo had missed one of his hits, or if Rui had missed, that we just wouldn't have done the job. I felt much safer felling a samurai at that point, and so after the samurai we went. Let's go with an assisted shot. Let's double slash and have Kyo just attack the minor daimyo since it's already got a fair bit of damage on it already. Samurai goes down like a pile of bricks, leaving just the daimyo. One of the assisted shot missed, but Kyo doesn't seem to care as he hits a death strike on the first attempt. Still looking for that lucky bishop that's going to give us a bracelet. Sort of a strange way of framing it when you realize we're just there to kill the bishop. But that's the old RPG rule. You kill the thing, you get its stuff. Here's another humanoid shape. This time it's a combat in the way of 3 friendly and not frame rate encroaching samurai. We'll just leave them be. Nice heroes we are. Another humanoid shape here, but first we get cut off by 4 dragonflies. Dragonflies, if you remember, are swift and elusive and kind of annoying. So we'll assisted shot and individual attack for the sake of as many chances as possible to just deal damage. So far the assisted shot is 0 for 4 and Rui missed there, meaning our chances of finishing this combat in 1 round went away. Instead, poor Ricardo takes 3 damage he would have otherwise been able to avoid. This is the curse of the Dragonfly. Now the assisted shot seems to want to work, and we are out of the combat. Get to our humanoid shape. 2 samurai and a bishop. Here we go again. Let's go with the restrict shot. An end lash. And an attack on the bishop. Once again, the bishop doesn't make it to Kyo's attack, so he'll just petrify a samurai. Other samurai runs up and eats a whole face load of crossbow bolt thanks to that restrict shot. Let's see if we can't set up something truly terrible in a stun attack and then double slash. I don't think this samurai is going to survive the stun attack if it hits, but if it does, poor fellow would have been in a world of hurt from the double slash. Stun attack was more than enough to fell it though, and we are through this combat. We have a chest. Let's hope it's the bracelet. Opening the chest, and Samurai's beard. Maybe if we get enough Samurai's beards we can weave ourselves a bishop's bracelet? Does that sound like a thing we could do? Probably not. Here's another line of Orc Kings. Restrict shot and sweep attack we go. 2 reasons I do it this way. 1, because I've already shown you the potential for a 1-round attack is still there, and 2, because when you have lines of Orc Kings, there is also the potential for them to front guard and negate a rush. So a critical 1 damage done to Kyo earlier, and now they're targeting Rui and Ricardo after a couple of shots there. No need to keep trying that luck. Eventually they get tired of missing Keo, so the Orc Kings go back to Ricardo, and the Restrict Shot just plucking them out. 5 left, so neither one of us are doing a rush at this point. Try another sweep attack, and there you go, Orc Kings with front guard. They're not dopes, these Orc Kings. Only one left standing. That would be the one we missed with the sweep attack last turn, and it just sort of holds put. So we'll go to assisted shot and individual attacks. Not gonna make it past the first assisted shot, but it's the thought that counts. Getting 800 more experience. See another humanoid shape on the horizon. Head towards it, and it's 3 samurai. They're friendly, we're leaving. Not that they said anything wrong, there's just nothing we can really get from them. Turns out there were 2 humanoid shapes, and while one had 3 very friendly samurai, the other had 2 very laggy ninjas. Restrict shot for Rui and Ricardo. And then End Lash. Oh. I set an End Lash with the wrong 2 people. Now we've got it set for Rui and Ricardo, with Keo just melee attacking a ninja. Once again, decent, pretty much guaranteed damage from the End Lash. Keo misses his attack on the ninja. Right side ninja attacks Ricardo and is put down with a restrict shot, bringing our frame rate back up to tolerability to see the other ninja follow suit, blindly jump at Ricardo, and get taken down with the righteous fury of magic crossbows. Picking up a shield once again. We will hand said shield over to Agog. And one swift appraisal later, we have a Magus small shield. Gonna hand that over to Sarah, who's become Shields R Us while wielding a magic crossbow that doesn't allow her to equip one. We found our way back to the stairs up to the 2nd level, and found ourselves in a bit of trouble against a ninja, samurai, and 2 priests. Set up our restrict shot, as right now anything those level 1 priests could cast are far from the scariest thing we're going to have to deal with here. Especially since I find it doubtful that the level 1 priests will be surviving the End Lash and Keo just attacking the back row like a boss. But one of the priests survived. And it wasn't the one I targeted, so Keo instead fails to hit the level 3 ninja, who's taken out by a restrict shot. Samurai will charge Ricardo, meaning he will eat 2 crossbow bolts to the face that will finish him off, leaving our level 1 priest to cast a spell. It is a Sarome spell, which blocks Agog's casting ability, hopefully just for this battle. Let's go assisted shot and attacks. Blocking Agog from casting doesn't block Agog from shooting a magic crossbow, and so Sarah and our bishop and party leader quickly dispatch that encounter. Now that we've made a loop around the labyrinth, we're just going to keep hoofing our way around, hoping to luck into another encounter with a bishop. Lo and behold, I ask for it and it comes. And we get a surprise attack. Oh, happy day. Assisted shot. Double slash. And Kyo will attack the other samurai straight up. More than enough to take out the first samurai. And Kyo leaves nothing to chance against the second. Now it's our party against a level 1 bishop. Almost seems unfair, doesn't it? Once again, I don't think it'll live through the stun attack, but it's worth a shot just to see if we could do an inhumane amount of damage on this. Nope, 51 damage, and it is paralyzed to death. 326 experience and a chest. Once again, looking for that bracelet. No bracelet, but we pick up an unidentified robe to go with the samurai's beard. Let's hand that robe over. Not an armor type we've seen very much of to this point. And that could be why. It's just a robe. It's a loose robe that covers the whole body. It's very weak and ineffective as armor. Not even ineffective, it's ineffective. So if ever you were going to be excited for an unidentified robe, allow that to temper your enthusiasm. We do find a trapped chest here. Rui's gonna do her best to open it. We have a dark fog set. Let's go ahead, limber up. Deep breath. And time to pick this lock. Nice and easy. We pick up an axe. This seems to be of the battle axe variety as opposed to a hand axe, if the portrait is to be believed. We'll set it next to our awesome robe that we totally got. New mascot for the party. And this is a slashing battle axe. This is what Ricardo had before we got that magical flail. This will once again go over to Sarah to hold on to for safekeeping, and we will venture further into the labyrinth. Saw a humanoid shape leave through that door, and so we shall pursue. Man, it is trying really hard not to have us find it. And it's just two ninjas. We got led down a dark and laggy alleyway. Restrict shot. End lash. And Kyo with a solo attack. Let's see how this goes. Well, we got our starter damage going, so if Kyo hits, it should be a kill. First strike he hits. Second ninja goes to attack Rui and finds himself in lethal damage all on his own. So once again, level 3 ninjas, not all they're cracked up to be. They're still learning. And we get yet another ninja's hood. Gonna keep going a little bit longer here. Teleporter trap. Was kind of tempted to trip it because we've certainly had no luck searching manually. But of course, fortune favors the bold and not the dense. So you run into a trap, you're better off not tripping it. kind of just making our way around, looking for real estate we have yet to travel. Getting a little tongue-tied here, probably because I'm doing this for the second time tonight. Again, apologies, you missed a good run earlier. There's our stairs down. Really tempted to take it every time we see it. But there's the humanoid shape. Is this the one we were hoping for? No, it's not. It's got a pair of level 3 samurai, a minor daimyo, and a level 1 priest, so let's see what we can do with that. Still got a spell cancel for the daimyo, especially in the back row. We're certainly going to end lash with Ricardo and Rui. And then we'll have Kyo cheese the priest. Disclaimer, no level 1 priests were actually cheesed in the filming of this combat. Ricardo takes A damage from that samurai. More importantly, we stop what was 99% probable to be a fire spell from the minor daimyo. Once again, set up a spell cancel. This time instead of the end lash, let's go with the double slash and have Kyo just straight up attack the other samurai. Specifically put the double slash on the samurai that Rui had hit with the end lash previously, giving Kyo as much of a leg up as possible to kill that level 3 samurai that Ricardo had previously struck. Minor daimyo once again stymied in its spellcasting attempts, so we're going to move to an assisted shot and a good old-fashioned double slash between Kyo and Ricardo. This is a tale as old as time for us in combat, letting our two best attackers hit twice each. And that's usually the result, one opponent down and combat over. Absolutely nothing of interest is going to come out of that battle, so I'm rather happy we didn't get a chest there, as it means one more open inventory slot. Still running out of options for places to go. Do find some new people to see, unfortunately it's 1001 Orc Kings. We could rush them, but I feel the better call is to Agog. Just let him throw some Jakrita around. Kyo paralyzes one. Rui and Ricardo combine to kill a second. And now here comes some Agog with some seriously awesome fire, giving the Orc Kings a case of the old hot feet, and hot kidneys, and hot snouts, and hot everything until they die. Even 1,000 experience there. Not bad for level 3, I'll say that much. And hey, it's the Combat So Nice, we're taking it twice, this time in abbreviated format. It's 6 Orc Kings for the price of 6. And we'll set up an assisted shot in individual actions. Just attack away and let the orcs fall where they may. One goes down to an assist shot and a ninja. Second goes down to an assist shot and a thief. Will a third go down to an assist shot and a fighter? I think yes. Back row Orc Kings think better of their place in life, and the one remaining flails wildly and misses at Ricardo. Let's try and give this one a proper send-off. This surviving Orc King, stun attack, and double slash. Will it survive the stun attack? That's the big question. 51 damage, and, well, it's kind of tough to tell, aside from the little lightning effects, whether an orc's stunned or not. Seeing over 600 damage applied to it, though, I think it took. That was more damage than we would have ever needed for that entire combat, just piled into one Orc King because we could. Kind of awesome, right? Here's another humanoid shape, and it's 3 samurai. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get excited for 3 samurai. It ain't happening. It's not their fault, they did nothing wrong. It's just not where I'm at. Double slash should take out one. Yeah, the 104 point critical sort of took the suspense out of that. Kyo petrifies the second. And the 3rd samurai gets caught trying to poke Ricardo. So we've got 1 injured samurai against our party. Assisted shot and double slash seems to be the order of the day. Throwing a backup attack just in case everything misses. But this double slash should be more than enough. And more than enough it is. Guess they got tired of being friendly, as we've run into that very formation about 3 times so far. Pick up some random and strange looking chainmail, maybe strange smelling. I didn't really give it that much of a once over. About to those, we set it next to our robe. And appraising we go. It's dragon chainmail. Nice item, but not useful for anyone, and now Sarah's inventory is getting kinda full. It's almost like we've been in here a while fruitlessly. Another humanoid shade. Will this be the one? We got our ninjas, we got our bishop. Not so much that we needed the ninjas, but it's been a while since we've been under 30 frames a second, so I guess we were due. Restrict shot. And lash. And a little feta for the discerning attack cheeser. For those of you who aren't sure what I mean when I say cheese and attack, we're using a little bit of a mechanical exploit here. You can target anything with a Kratos spell, any monster. But the game doesn't really recognize the fact that you've backed out of the menu after selecting your last target. So by choosing the Kratos spell from Kyo's menu, we're able to get into the back row, then back out to a melee attack, and the cursor is still pointed on that back row target. Normally, Kyo wouldn't be able to attack it from the front row with a melee weapon, but we're using the little exploit to give ourselves a bit of an extended reach with his attack powers. Here we're up against some dragonflies and some boring beetles, and we're just not going to be bothered with these in the least. We'll let Kyo attack, as Rui and Agog should pretty much have this down. Jatiel from Rui. And just in case that doesn't quite work out, back up Jatiel from Agog. And just for the sake of healing, we'll have Sarah cast to Fields on the front row, because they're all a little dinged up. Kyo and Ricardo especially. Wow, Kyo 0 for 2 against that Dragonfly. Weird to think that he's caught full-on ninjas dead in their tracks, but can't catch a fantasy bug, basically. Ricardo more than happy to flail away the one that survived Rui's spell. so Agog holds onto a spell slot due to not acting quickly, and we pick up what is most likely to be demon eggs. No, it's a Zybus stone. Once again, excited because we could break that stone down in town, and it's another shot at the Bishop Bracelet lottery. This encounter will not be a shot at the Bishop Bracelet lottery, but it is a chance to hack up a bunch of baddies, which I feel can't be a bad thing. Once again, using our exploit because I'm tired of saying the word cheese. Been saying it all day, not gonna say cheese again. This is the last time you hear cheese out of me. We're not cheesing any more attacks. Cheddar. Ninja goes down to a restrict shot, leaving just the samurai, who's going to charge after Ricardo. Ricardo really ought to think of a new aftershave, because the baddies just keep going at him. They like to poke him with shiny and sharp objects, and we like to use restrict shots to protect him from that. That's a little bit of the old teamwork making the dream work. And now that I've said that, there's your nauseating phrase of the day. Let's go for one more combat here before calling it a day. And by one more combat, I mean with a humanoid-shaped mob. If we just happen to random into a dragon or anything, I'm not going to be like, well, that's it, it's over. Do find a treasure chest, and you know how we like the shiny objects. It's a Zacreta stone. That is a very shiny object. See a dragon coming out of that door, so let's duck into this one. Not that I'm particularly scared by a gash dragon. We could one-round them pretty simply by this point. It's just not what we're here for. Well, this dragon really insists on being fought. So just to show you how easily we can deal with a dragon now. Allied actions, offensive action, we're going to set up a stun attack with Rui and Sarah, and follow that up with a double slash. Just in case everything goes haywire and we need a little extra damage, Agog is just going to attack with his crossbow. First things first, Sarah is going to enchant Rui's blade with some lightning. It's going to hit for 34 damage and paralyze the dragon, opening it up to some double damage from the double slash of two fighters who are attacking in tandem. Kyo hitting with a death strike, in addition to a bit over 400 damage thrown between the two of them. Before I could finish the sentence, that dragon was dead 2.5 times over. And we get a field stone. So, yeah. Not gonna lie, I kinda hope we crack the Bishop's Bracelet because I don't want to break that field stone. I want to use it, as Fields is probably one of the more useful heal spells this game has to offer. This is a humanoid-looking mob, but it's Orc Kings, and they're friendly, so we're not gonna hold that against us either. It's like I want to go, but I never want to leave. In this case, we actually are leaving the combat, because it's better for us. Here we go, 3 samurai and a bishop. They found us, we didn't find them. In fact, we were turning to see them as they walked headlong into us. If ever we're going to get this today, it's off of this combat. Take our restrict shot. Take a double slash. And use our game mechanics exploit to have Kyo attack a back row monster. Bree. Yes, I'm taunting you all with cheese names. 2 injured samurai left after the initial round of combat. Time to switch ourselves into some old-fashioned offense. Just gonna go ahead with assisted shot and individual attacks. There are 2 weakened samurai. We've got this in the bag. An assisted shot takes 1 down, and Kyo is good for the other. Now, fingers crossed, folks. This is do or die time. We're drawing a line in the sand. Go ahead. Draw your line. Let's hope for a chest. Coming out of combat, we've got a chest. Okay, folks. Still drawing your line. Keeping it nice and straight. Go ahead, it's sand. You can push a little forward. We never saw that little bend in it. You're doing fine. Gonna open the chest now. And if it's a bishop's bracelet, we can craft that stone and get on with our adventuring lives. Opening the chest. It is wildly disappointing. A wild robe has appeared. We are giving it to Ricardo. Ricardo is giving it to Agog. The robe is next to a robe. That should help us appraise it. If it looks the same, it's just a robe. It's a Magus' robe. Okay, we found something neat. Magus' robe is a robe cast with a spell that slightly increases evade and defensive ability. So, they had to enchant the robe to make it a better robe. I take back what I said about that being neat. It is, however, functionally useful, and it's our party leader's first armor upgrade, so we're going to use it. Let's equip it, and now we have just 2 plain old robes in the inventory, and Agog's defense is up to 8. Oh, to be a bishop in these unsettling times. Let's go ahead and use our transfer potion, as I've had more than enough of me for today, and I'm sure you're hitting that level too. So we're just gonna cheese ourselves out of it. Did I say cheese? Cheese. We will head to Vigor's shop, though, and crack those spell stones open on the off chance that one of them is hiding a bishop's bracelet. If it is, we can go into the vellum section and make that stone. So first we want to separate, and it pulls up all of our potential stones to separate. We have a Zybus stone, a Zakrita stone, a Barrett's stone, and a Field stone. I'm thinking it's the higher level stones, the Zakrita and the Field stone, that may have them. Maybe the Zybus stone as well, since it's a level 3. I don't have a very good feeling about the Barrett's stone. But we'll go in order top to bottom. If we hit a bishop's bracelet, I will stop separating, because again, I really want that Field stone for use. First stone cracked. And we get a pair of demon's eggs. Okay. Still want to separate? Yes, we do. Here's the Zakrita stone. Let's go ahead and crack this sucker open. Inside we find a sorcerer's earring and a bishop's bracelet. Wow, this is rare. I think I'm done making sorcerer's earring. Here's the bishop's bracelet. There it is, folks. We do not want to separate any further. What we want to do is make a vellum. Let's go ahead and make that resurrect vellum. Combining the dragon's heart, the bishop's bracelet, and the priest's hair. Getting ourselves a Carcass stone. We really do wish to use the magic stone right away, but we can't because we promised it to that pixie all the way down on the 5th floor who is guarding her fallen love. Incidentally, that pixie was assuming a human form and assuming the name Hannah, which may become of importance in a quest in our very next episode. If you've been following this series closely, I can tell you that Sunday's stream is probably one you're not going to want to miss. Would I call it must-see TV? No, I'd probably call it a type of cheese. So Agog will hold on to the stone, and we will not continue separating. Instead, we are going to back out and sell some items. But before I continue on with that, I want to wrap this up here. I do want to thank you for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to check in, and I do hope this is at least a moment's entertainment and diversion for you. Times are still pretty rough out there. The world is still very much unsettled, and hopefully sitting down and watching me goof off and play video games is bringing you a moment's peace and at least a chuckle or two. Either way, this has been a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next.